collagen drops 30% in the first 5 years of menopause. And then it continues to drop 2% a year.
But those like micro injuries from the laser causes that damage causes your body to start trying to repair itself and produces collagen.
But to be honest, HA fillers don't really increase or induce that much collagen growth.
Go get those hairs lasered before they turn white or gray, because once that happens, you cannot get rid of them as easily.
The beauty scientists, Dr. Kristy Hamilton and Dr. Roy Kim. Real beauty without the hype.
Welcome to the 18th episode of The Beauty Scientist. I'm Dr. Kristy Hamilton, board-certified plastic surgeon, here with my colleague, Dr. Roy Kim, and we are excited for our next topic, which is post-menopausal skin changes. So menopause is a big deal. There's so many changes that happen to the body, to the mind. It's a major, major pivot point in women's lives, and that's half of the population of our country and the world. So this is a big impact topic, and we're interested in it because many of our patients fit into this category, and there's big changes that occur. So Dr. Kim, I know you were recently interviewed on this topic by the American Society of Plastic Surgeons. So what begins to happen? What's going on with the hormones in women's bodies when we're starting to experience these changes?
There are a lot of hormonal changes, as we all know, but the biggest one that seems to affect menopausal skin is estrogen. So specifically, the estrogen drop causes a lot of skin changes. It causes more delicate skin, and essentially you're going to have less collagen formation. So what's interesting and sort of scary, actually, when I actually learned about this, collagen drops 30% in the first 5 years of menopause, and then it continues to drop 2% a year, like forever, unless we do something about it. So that's actually a big deal, and this is the sort of main source as to why we have all these different skin changes after menopause.
I did not know that 30% drop in 5 years. No wonder women feel like, I don't feel like myself. Like I look in the mirror, I don't know who it is. I mean, that's a pretty drastic percentage.
Yeah, I mean, we're sort of percolating along. And then, of course, collagen production, I think, slows down, but it doesn't drop that much that quickly in women before menopause or men in general until they're pretty old. So it's a huge, rapid change immediately.
So before we go into the other hormonal changes that affect skin, so what are our non-surgical options for addressing this collagen? I'm very passionate about this topic because I'm always working on increasing my collagen. So what can we do to help patients who are experiencing this? Very alarming.
Or pretty much all of us, because we're all going to be losing collagen. Yeah.
Yes. Actively.
I mean, I think there are a couple approaches. One is overall holistic. One is in terms of actual direct non-invasive skin treatments, and of course direct or more invasive skin treatments. So holistically, weirdly enough, it's diet and exercise like most of life. So diet would include any foods that have more biotin, collagen in them. And people don't love thinking about this stuff, but again, we've talked about this in the past. We're talking tendons, ligaments, gelatin, which actually has a lot of these components. Now, we do obviously have supplements, so biotin, collagen supplements of that nature also have a lot of collagen in it. And exercise, well, increased blood flow helps with overall skin healing. So you want to lift weights / get your heart rate up. You want to do both, like weightlifting as well as cardio. So those are two big things. The final thing is sort of obvious, but again, you probably shouldn't gain a lot of weight and lose a lot of weight only because physically that's not great for your skin.
That makes sense. And we know whenever you lose volume, then and you have a collagen loss and loss of elasticity and elastin on top of that, then the balloon has deflated and it's also sagging. So that's not the look that we're going for especially when you're going to see your plastic surgeon.
Yeah.
So what injectable options do we have?
Yeah. So in terms of injectable options, this is an interesting topic because just filling the balloon, the deflated balloon, or filling a wrinkle actually doesn't really increase collagen that much. Now, this goes sort of against what we've been told by the manufacturers of these fillers. But to be honest, HA fillers don't really increase or induce that much collagen growth. The stimulatory fillers, biostimulatory fillers, to be honest, don't they increase collagen a little more, but they don't increase collagen that much either. They seem to have an inflammatory effect along with a small stimulatory collagen effect. And we're talking the non-HA fillers. So specifically CAHA, calcium hydroxyapatite, the Sculptra, as well as a couple others which are not really common in the US, not huge, but they're definitely useful. But it's not like repeated injections of those products will increase collagen a lot. I think that in terms of the injectable world, and the jury's out because they haven't been out that long, are what we discussed in the past, regenerative skin boosters, which are not really out in the US yet. We have Skin Vive, made by Allergan, great product, but it's mainly HA and it does induce some collagen growth. But the regenerative skin boosters, which are from products that we've loved, salmon skin DNA, but it's not really skin.
Yes.
That actually regenerates collagen because it was originally used in wound healing. The jury's still out because, yes, I'd like to see 2 years, 5 years, whatever follow-up. But they do seem to work and they do seem to regenerate.
It's very exciting. I just did, and I know we're going to talk about this too. So laser resurfacing, because I am always trying to build my collagen. So you don't need to wait till menopause to start counteracting this. But those like micro injuries from the laser causes that damage causes your body to start trying to repair itself and produces collagen. And so I did exosome therapy on top of it this time. And I did a much more aggressive treatment than I normally do because I was at home with the baby and had the opportunity to do that. And I healed faster than when I normally do lighter treatments of the laser. So that is not it's not a double-blind controlled study, but it's definitely caught my eye and my interest. So I'm excited to see more regenerative medicine techniques come to the United States. What else? So okay, so that's some of the things that we can do. And we were just talking about collagen creation after losing all of that collagen as menopause started. But what other hormonally mediated changes do we see to the skin once menopause begins?
Yeah, so collagen's a huge one, but honestly, other things include dryness and itching of the skin, what we love to call pruritus, which is the medical term. So you may have to avoid soap or washing as often, and you may need more moisturizer. You may, unfortunately, get an increase in adult acne, which like, hey, you're an adult, you're well past being adult, and yet this new onset of adult acne. Just be aware of that. That can happen. You can have increased hair growth. I don't know if I can pronounce this, hirsutism. But yes, you may have increased hair growth post-menopause. And melasma, which you may or may not have after pregnancy or just in general, it becomes more obvious, more frequent. And the big thing, I think, is harder to get rid of post-menopause than pre-menopause. So just be aware of that. Melasma is a fancy dermatology term for sort of a rash on your face. It looks like a butterfly usually. And that is just harder to get rid of. And finally, of course, people love talking about hot flashes. Well, unfortunately, your facial skin may also experience flushing. That's to be expected to a certain extent. But if you have rosacea, then it actually gets a little worse after menopause.
Okay, and so none of these changes are welcome. None of them are like you enter menopause and my skin is now glowing. So we do have answers for some of them, right? So when we talk about excess hair growth, and of course it's not in places that we want. It's not like, oh, you've got more hair growth on your eyebrows, your eyelashes, or your head. We're talking hair growth on your chin. No woman wants that.
Right.
So we have laser hair removal. Now I tell patients, if you notice that you're getting hairs on your chin and you are fortunate enough that you are a brunette and not a natural pale blonde, go get those hairs lasered before they turn white or gray, because once that happens, you cannot get rid of them as easily. So that's an option. Acne, of course, we're well versed in taking care of acne, or especially our dermatology colleagues. So there's options there. Melasma is very difficult to treat, whether it's the pregnancy related or hormonal, but there's some good chemical peels and chemical masks that we do. And then facial flushing or rosacea also can be difficult to treat, but dermatology has some options for that. But unwelcome changes.
Yes. I mean, fortunately, there are ways to treat them all, but yes, it would be annoying if you're an adult and great. I have more adult acne now, post-menopause. Wonderful. So it can happen.
And when we were talking about this topic before, you had mentioned the fact that like time does not help any of this. What did you mean by that when you were mentioning it?
Yeah, I mean, the more you sort of let it go, so specifically whether you have melasma, whether you have hirsutism, as you mentioned, extra hair. Weirdly enough, I mean, you want to, if you can't nip it in the bud, that's okay. I mean, you just want to be aware of it and then you want to treat it a little sooner as opposed to later. I mean, melasma in a 70-year-old is going to be a lot different than if you're treating it in someone who's 50 or 30 or whatever. If it's really set in, it's harder to deal with. And you mentioned hair removal, of course. I mean, you'd rather have dark hair against light skin. That's when you get the laser treatment. You don't want to be having, white or gray hair. The laser has a hard time eliminating that hair follicle.
Yeah, you need to have the pigment. It needs to target something to go after that differentiates it from the surrounding skin. So time is of the essence when it comes to that. So let's say let's say you're approaching menopause or you're starting to be perimenopausal, what would you suggest to your female patients for staying ahead of the curve here?
I mean, definitely having a healthy diet. One thing we forgot to mention is, yes, you want a high collagen diet. We also want to avoid poor food, specifically fast food, alcohol, high sugar. All those things aren't really great for your skin. We already know that. We want to increase exercise because that actually helps with blood circulation and that will help your skin. And then, weirdly enough, hey, if you can't intake enough collagen with whole foods, you want to take collagen supplements and you want to start taking it now because that'll set you up, I think, get you in a routine discipline where if you're always taking collagen supplements, menopause hits, you're already replenishing that collagen and avoiding that 30% drop in the first 5 years.
It's a very alarming statistic. I'm glad we've mentioned it a couple of times. It's resonating with me right now. I really did not know that. And then, of course, in our offices, then you can also consider treatments to actually stimulate collagen production. Now, of course, it's nice that you're talking about holistic ways of doing it because you're not doing laser resurfacing on your whole body, or at least we're not able to do that yet. Maybe something will come up in the future. And then, of course, medical grade skincare helps as well. So again, medical grade skincare, it's like the consistency of using those products. So that's something, if you start now, you'll look like a different person relative to if you'd never tried it at all. But you see the benefits of that in the long term, I think.
I totally agree. And then we all know, prescription grade skincare is great. It can definitely regrow collagen. It'll thicken your skin. You'll have fewer fine wrinkles, better skin, consistent color. Like you won't have red spots or pale spots. Rather, your skin will be uniform in terms of color. And I think one of the things that we don't discuss enough is prescription grade skincare works great. Even if it doesn't work as well as you want, even if you want a laser treatment, RF microneedling treatment, whatever, you need a baseline of really awesome skin. And when you get that laser treatment, you're going to heal faster and actually look better.
100%. My patients who have been working on their skin and taking care of it and wearing their sunscreen and doing these treatments over time, when they then go for a bigger procedure, they have such an easier recovery than people who are starting for the first time. But I still applaud anyone whether they've been on the path for a while or they're just taking their first step. It's a worthy journey. And I'm excited about the regenerative medicine techniques that we were talking about. So hopefully there'll be some really, really great technologies coming out in the future in this area. We see it starting already. That will be like high impact. Any final thoughts on this very interesting topic?
No, I think that, like a lot in life, it depends on your preparation. So if you build a great foundation to your house, it won't be as dramatic of a change, and specifically not a great change, but rather you're prepared. And so, hey, you may not need anything. Even if you feel like you need something post-menopause, your body's prepared so that it can get a non-invasive or invasive treatment, and you're going to look much better, much faster.
Well, I know I certainly learned a lot during this, and I am not menopausal yet, so that means I still have time. So I'm going to start working on loading up on the collagen here, prepare myself as best I can in all the ways. So that's me. I'm always doing something.
Yeah.
A fascinating topic. I learned a lot, and I'm sure you, the listener or viewer, did too. If you have more questions, leave a question below or a comment, and we will incorporate that into our upcoming podcast as well. And as always, stay beautiful.
Stay beautiful.
Thank you for joining us on The Beauty Scientists. Be sure to visit thebeautyscientists.com and learn more about modern beauty and connect with Dr. Hamilton and Dr. Kim.